Okay, so here, we're do something a little bit different. We're going to make an LED flash. Now, what we've got is all our pieces that we need laid out in here. I've got a microbit, it's USB cable already attached, ready to go into the computer. I've got an LED. This is a color changing one. And you'll notice with the LED, Smithy said, if I just put my hand under it here, one leg is longer than the other. This is the positive, and this is the negative. And that's important for when we're connecting them up. We've got a resistor. It's a 330 ohm resistor. This is so too much power doesn't go through the LED because they can't handle too much. Anything too big and you'll risk burning them out. And there is the risk they can actually go pop as well. And then because we're going to connect this up straight to the microbit using the bigger elements on the GPIO pins on the bottom, I've got 3 crocodile leads because that's what I'm going to need to connect it all together. So let's start putting the pieces together. I'm going to take my red wire first of all. It's a crocodile lead. It's got clips on both ends, as you can see. And I'm going to take one end and I'm going to attach that to the 0 terminal on here. And this is pin 0. So when we come to look at the code, it'll be pin 0 we pick from it. Then I take the other end of this and I'm going to attach it to one end of the resistor. Now, it really makes no difference with the resistor which way it is. And I'm just going to turn that slightly so it doesn't slip out. So that's there. Now I'm going to take my second lead, it's my yellow one, and I'm going to attach this to the other end of the resistor. Again, bend that slightly. You don't have to bend them, I just don't want it going off. So we leave that sort of element there. And now I get my yellow lead, and I'm going to connect this to the long leg on my LED, just moving it out slightly so it doesn't touch, because if it touches, it's not going to work. And then finally, I take my black lead, and I'm going to attach that to the other leg, and then that gets attached to the ground pin. This is a negative terminal on my microbit. So we put that there. Now, there we go. So that's the setup that we need here. That's all wired up and good to go. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move over and we're going to have a look at the program that's actually going to make this flash. Right, so here we are in our coding environment, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to have a look at how to put this code together to make that LED that we just connected flash. So we want it to flash, and effectively we're just turning it on and off. So I want this to repeat, so for ease, we're just going to use forever, because this is a loop, and it keeps it running as long as the microbit has power. First thing we're going to need is the actual pin, and you'll notice we don't find that in here, in our basics menu, or the top of our toolbox. We've got to go to advanced. And then we've got a nice option here, that's called pins. Now, this is chock full of different options for different sensors, for servos, and for all sorts of different triggers and various things. We're going to start right at the top though, and we want this second block down here, this digital write pin to 0. So we're going to take that, and we're actually going to need 2, so I'm going to duplicate them now. We're also going to need a couple of pauses, and this is to make sure the microbit actually flashes slowly and not so fast that we can't see it. Because if I was to put these 2 in and not put a delay in, the microbit would actually show as just being on and nothing would change. So we'll assemble the code now. So it's going to be off. It's going to wait. Then it goes in again and it waits. We're going to set these pauses to 1 second. And then here, we've got this value here. And if I click in this second one here, you notice we have a little toe lock, we can change between 0 and 1. And we're changing the state. It's digital, so it's working in binary. So 0 is off, and on is a 1. So that's done. So then we have turn it on, wait 1 second, turn it off. And if we look at the virtual one at the side here, we can see that pin 0 is flashing and the state is changing. And that means that we'll actually be able to turn our LED on and off because we're doing that here. So it's sending the right signal. Right, so as you can see, we've got our microbit set up here, the LED, the resistor, and the microbit, and it's connected to the computer. You can see we've already connected it, so we can now flash this code onto the LED. So we can see it's going here. So where it's all connected and paired, and click download. It's downloading it. What it's doing, it's actually flashing the code onto the microbit. That's a technical term that reflects what it's actually doing as well. So we can see that that's going through. And once this is on, and sometimes it can be very quick, so it's taking a little bit of time here, but the LED here is going. So there we go, our code is on, and as we can see now, so the LED is flashing. It's on and off, and that's that signal that's going through to the pin. It's off, it waits, it turns it on.